So to finish up this application, we're going to look at setting up our output and coming up with our algorithm. So we want to use these numbers here down in our algorithm, and we've come up with a couple algorithms that we're going to need to do. First, we're going to need to come up with our, basically break this into two parts. Let's say the future value of all the payments that we put in. So we'll call it deposits. Okay. And then let's also make one for future value of our starting amount. Okay. And then that will take our starting, then we'll add those two together. So we'll go future value is equal to future value of our deposits plus, and there might be a better way to do this, but this just seems like one of the easier ways to do it. And so for this first part, future value of the deposits, we have this big formula up here, okay, which is payment times, and then all this other stuff raised to the power, okay, all that stuff. So when you get it, we'll just make a copy of that, put that right there. Notice how you will have, so these brackets turn yellow, the parentheses turn yellow as we use them. Notice that this second one goes around, so it's on this side of the -1. So this to the period count -1, and then divide the whole thing by interest rate, okay? Then times it by the deposit, okay? And that's what you find here. The other part is the future value of the starting. That one's actually a lot easier. We actually did that in our book, I think, as part of the homework. It's basically starting amount and then raised to that period amount, okay? And then for our future value, so we've got those two, we add those two together, and it comes up with what we want to put in our output. So in our output, we can just, this is just a little container that we, a little variable that we say that. So we're going to say output is equal to F, and we're going to come up with that string. And I've actually kind of already put it together, and I'll just paste that right here. Okay. And notice I use these backslashes at the end of the string to kind of take it to the next, concatenate it to the next line. So it'll all just go on into one output. Okay. And then for this last one, interest earned, we'll just copy that, that formatting like we've done here, and just put that right here onto the interest earned. And then we'll add $signs to each of these like so. And then we'll just output whatever's in there after here. But we need to come up with this interest earned. So basically interest earned is going to be everything that was not put in and started, right? So interest earned is equal to the future value minus our starting amount, okay, minus, right, or we can actually say plus the period count times the deposits. So we'll take all of this added together, okay, and we'll subtract it from the future value. So all of this, so this comes up with how much we deposited total, and this is our starting amount. We'll take it from the future value, and it'll give us this interest earned. So we'll put that down here, and then let's just go ahead and output it. So if we run that, we'll just look at our little answer here. Let's close the output. We don't need that. So we'll say 36. Starting amount is 2,000. Interest rate is 5% a year, which is like 0.42 a month. And then the deposit amount is 100 a month. If we click calculate, the total future value is 6,198. The starting amount value at the end, which means after 3 years, that $2,000 would have grown to 2,322, and the total interest of the whole thing earned was $598. So at the end, if we started with 2,000, we add $100 a month. In 36 months, in 3 years, we'll have 6,198. Let's just see what that does if we go to 7. It increases it up to $858 in interest. Okay, and the future value is almost worth same amount of money going in, but it's now worth almost $6,500. So that's just a simple way to do the calculator with the calculate button, and we didn't really use this ending beginning part. The formula that we used was just for the ending. We could go back in and readjust, but I think that this is a pretty good example of how you would be able to do the using Anvil, how you'd be able to do Python with a nice little GUI.